literally looked like Doug Flutie.
I would have took steroids though, and we got ripped.
Like the Boz.
Yeah.
The Boz, when he wore that crop, dude, there's nobody cooler than the Boz.
All right, so 65. Are we recording?
Yeah, Ben.
All right. We got Huss, and if you don't know Mike Husni, then maybe you need to reevaluate your life.
Research.
Best D3 quarterback out there.
A lot of grit.
D1 transfer, we'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. State champion. What did they say? Heart over height?
Yeah.
That's your mom's. That's your mom's hashtag.
My mom's hashtag started it.
My favorite thing ever was the North Brick game when they were fucking screaming Husni's hairline.
It wasn't the first and definitely not the last time I heard that.
I never fucking forgot that. I was like, dude, these kids are out of control.
I guess just plug yourself right now before we get going. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Nothing much, just trying to figure out life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gonna be a teacher. Kind of feel bad for those kids because I don't really know what I'm doing.
That's all teachers, dude.
Yeah, that's whatever. Summer's off. That's all I care about. A little coaching football. And that's it. Just get drunk.
Have you started coaching?
I mean, during the COVID year, I helped out North a little bit. But I got one more year left. Kind of excited, but also kind of over the whole thing.
They got a lot of alumni on staff.
Yeah. It's
I
all
feel like,
alumni.
Yeah,
and even the schools down there, all high schools, all Rowan alum. So it's kind of, definitely don't want to come back to this shithole. Definitely don't want to come back here.
No, I mean, being at North, after subbing and then eventually doing the alternate route, after literally teaching for 2 years, I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah. I mean, I've been subbing at intermediate school for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And it's just weird working with all, our old teachers. It's like, you guys saw me as a little scumbag running around. Now, I'm working with you.
Yeah.
It's
the same thing.
Yeah, you don't view me as the same. I couldn't even imagine going to high school with my brother and all his friends.
Oh,
because, they had
me.
Oh,
you couldn't?
They had me on Snapchat.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing you. Oh, it looks like you had a fun weekend on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I mean, they see me doing a lot more fucked up shit, especially when I'm away at school.
I'll never forget when I was subbing. I was subbing for this science class. And this kid goes, I know you. And I go, you do? And he goes, yeah, I was at your brother's 16th birthday party. And I fucking taped. This kid showed up with 40s, and I taped them to his hand. And I'm this fucking kid.
Shout out Jordan Sirota.
Oh, that's who it was.
Jordan
I was
Sirota.
like, oh my God. I was like, well, anyways, this is the assignment. I'm just going to sit here and keep my mouth shut.
And nowadays, since COVID happened, these kids have no social cues or nothing. They don't care.
They just say whatever.
These kids in middle school will tell a teacher, go fuck. You're go fuck yourself.
Literally.
I had one kid, so I was subbing in Mr. Adams' cycle. So I was fucking with Adams we were fucking with each other all day. And this kid just wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm like, dude, listen, sit down, do your work. I don't care. Just go on your Chromebook. Play. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Just do your work and don't talk. He stood up and tried sizing me up. This little kid. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? He was like, what? I said, are you trying to size me up? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, bro, listen, I don't go that way. I don't care.
I'll lose this job.
I don't care. This $125 is nothing to me right now. You're not going to try to size me up in front of the class. I was like, get the fuck out. And then, Adams heard, and, it was just a shit show. These fucking kids don't know what to do.
Dude, I mean, what a fucking train wreck that guy is. He would just be like, hey, Vanessa, go sit down in science class.
Yeah.
Or he called, I'll never forget one fucking time. He called my one English teacher and was like, oh, can you send Vanessa over here?
Yep.
And I go over there
Sounds
and
like
he's like, hey, I got Duncan. You want some?
Dude, every time.
And
he got...
What?
So I had him for math, and I was in that cycle, whatever. So I had him for math, and I was in science class, and he called me over. Yo, Calvin, come here real quick. Dude's got 24 donuts, 24 donuts in his desk.
Just in the drawer.
In the drawer, yeah.
No, he always had fucking. I don't know what his problem was.
He opened it up and goes, yo, pick what you want. Like, what do you want? Just grab 2. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, yeah, just sit in here and eat them. You can just sit in here and eat them. So I'm fucking thinking like, all right, like I must be doing really good. This guy's giving me donuts.
No.
My science teacher comes into the classroom and goes, dude, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. And I go, he told me to come in and get donuts. He goes, no, I didn't. I didn't tell you to come in here and get donuts. Like, you just came in here and asked for donuts. And I'm like, bro, wow, you fucking can't.
Oh, dude. He's out of control.
Yeah, he was funny as hell.
Dude, he, at the last marking period of that class, I didn't hand in a piece of homework, and he would like pass out tests and quizzes, and he'd be like, hey, put your name on that. And then he would just snatch it, and he'd be like, put your head down.
Yeah. He would tell me to put, I always fucking was like the class clown. I was always talking and shit. So the one day, he goes, yo, put your head down, go to bed. I'll give you an A for today. And I'm like, are you serious? He goes, just put your head down.
No, he gave me a B for the marking period.
Dude, he opened up the book. He opened up that grading book, and he goes, look. Hey, see? You're good. I was like, what?
But, dude, he totally fucked me over because when I got to high school and I was in algebra, I was like, I don't know anything. And they're like, well, you should have learned this last year. And I'm like,
yeah, dude.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I even know, like, because I remember talking to him, and he's like, dude, like, compared to, like, when you guys were in middle school to now, it's like, we all want to quit. Like, this is ridiculous. He's like, we used to be able to fuck around with you guys, or, like...
Or these teachers...
Or, like, slip up and say, like, fuck. Like, if we do that, like, we're getting written up, and, like... Fuck.
Oh, these kids, like, snitch.
Yeah, they're a bunch of rats. Like, kids will tell each other, I'm like, yo, like, 1, don't be a rat. No one likes a rat. 2, I don't care. I'm a sub. Like, unless you're getting bullied or whatever, like, I don't really give a fuck.
The worst was when you had that substitute, that one substitute that you knew was just a little fucking loser and like took it way too serious, and then would leave that bad note for the teacher the next day, and then the teacher's like,
always on the fucking note.
Or the old hags.
Oh, the old
like
retired teachers.
Yeah,
it's like, listen, you're retired, buddy. Leave the fuck alone.
Did you guys ever have that deaf one?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
I used to tell her
the phone was ringing. Everybody told her the phone was ringing. What? The phone's ringing. Slisherman.
Yeah.
What? The phone's ringing. Yeah, pick it up. And she'd pick it up and say hello like 3 times into the phone. Honestly, I think she just started playing into that shit. I'm like, you're not that deaf.
Dude, the best sub I ever had. And so for you guys who didn't grow up in Tom's River, so there's this gym teacher. His last name is Bodes. I'm gonna call him out. It doesn't matter. It's public knowledge.
Yeah, free Bodes.
He was a sub when I was in middle school, so he was a little bit younger. And when I went to middle school, like now Tom's River has 3 middle schools, right? So you have north, south, and east. But back in the day, all the south kids and the north kids used to go to middle school together, and it was intermediate west. Now, all the south kids that went to the middle school, it's like South Tom's River kids, like a troubled black and Hispanic population. It was wild. And so literally all the kids in this class that did fuck with Bodes that day are literally like in jail. No cap. And so this one kid, Corey, was like fucking with him or whatever. Bodes gets up. We're in math class. He gets up and all the desks are in a row. And Corey's in the back seat of that row. And Bodes at this point wasn't like fat jack like he is now. Like he was like stacked.
He was all roided up.
Dude, he took the desk and slammed the entire row back till this kid's desk slammed into the cement wall. And he goes, I'm telling you one more fucking time. Say something to me one more fucking time. And nothing happened. Like, that's just like how subs
I think the height of people like looking at subs or looking at teachers like in a different light was when Coach Barnes, Darian Barnes, was a substitute. He was a big goofball, and like he didn't realize like the way you talk to us in the locker room and the way like we fuck around with each other, you can't bring that into a classroom.
Even though for a while you could, it's just kids change.
It changed.
Well, I mean, literally that year we were in high school, everything changed. Everything. Like our freshman year.
Yeah, and so we'd always wrestle with him, and like this guy, he played in the NFL, like. So he was always fucking playing slap ass with us. He was just fucking. All he wanted to do was fuck around. And the one day, we all had a group text, and so he's texting us, and he like it was after the season, and a couple of us were like, thinking of leaving and or staying, and then he texted us and he's like, yo, come meet me after you guys get out. I'll write you all passes and let them know that you're late, because I was talking to him. So we're going to the classroom, and he's just like gives us his little rah-rah speech. You guys need to stick together. You guys need to plan something out for the summer and the spring, and we're going to get back on track, and we're going to win this thing. All right. So then we start chirping each other. He fucking walks out into the hallway and goes, come on, you fucking pussies. Come on, you fucking pussies. He's like, I'll fuck all of you. I'll fuck all of you. So we start fucking jumping Barnes in the hallway, and all in fun. And now teachers are thinking that we're beating his ass in the hallway. So he goes, yo, come in the stairwell real quick, or we're going to get in trouble. So we go in the stairwell, and we start fucking him up. And then the teachers are like, are you guys fighting? You guys? And he goes, oh, no. He's like all out of breath. And he's like, no. We're just fucking around. All right, guys, go to class. but you can't do that,
dude. And
so the teachers are like told him, like, hey, this is not, the way school should be. You can't do that with the children, and they can't be late to class because they're wrestling you in the hallway. Like, that just doesn't look good. And he's like, all right, yeah, my bad. And then
he called some kid a pussy.
A pussy, yeah. And it was, who it was? Remember the kid Quashim? He used to put a tablet in his fucking pocket. Nobody knew how he fit this tablet in his pocket.
I don't remember 85% of the kids went to high school with. And I also don't like many people.
This kid was this kid he was nice. Like, I guess he had a good heart, but he was just troubled. Yeah, he was troubled, and so
troubled
as in trouble as in just didn't know how to communicate his feelings, and if he was angry, he'd just fucking flip. Mm-hmm. And so,
actually, I do remember this kid.
Yeah. So Barnes was subbing in class, and so Barnes starts joking with people, and the kid Quashim don't know how to take a fucking joke. Obviously, bro, he does have school shooter, like it looks like he would. Yeah, because you're putting a tablet in your pocket. Bro.
What else is in that?
That's
pocket?
fucking
PSA, crazy. Tablets in the pocket.
It means you're about to
immediate lockdown.
Yeah. So Barnes gets to this kid Quashim, starts fucking with him, and so Quashim's like, I'll get up out this door, fuck you up right now. I'll get up out this door, fuck you up right now. And Barnes is like, dude, I'll fucking kill you. You're a pussy. And somebody in the class snitched. And then Barnes ended up, he was relieved of his duties, but they said he just resigned and he got that head coaching job at Cold Snack. But it was that whole thing, we heard about it, and he had to text us and be like, hey guys, I'm leaving, blah, 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 if you need anything, let me know. And it was just that quick. And then it come to find out, he called the kid a pussy, and then Quashim didn't snitch, but the kid in the class was felt uncomfortable with the whole interaction and fucking
uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're a pussy.
Grow up, dude. Grow up.
It's just two hood dudes talking to each other.
Dude, well, that's the thing. I don't know. Tom's River has definitely changed. And when I left, all the newer teachers that were actually pretty cool. I'm trying to think of.
Dude, I'll go to DJ's and I see a bunch of teachers from North there.
Yeah.
Just blacked out.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. But so they were because all this stuff happened where they were redirecting educational funds to lower privileged schools, but it was so uneven, and so they were really draining the budget of schools that still did need money. And so Tom's River started laying off a bunch of people, and so the thing was it was last in, first out.
Yeah.
And so the problem with that was the curriculum for education, for teachers, has changed, and I definitely think would benefit the kids, because it's a lot more rigorous, but it's also a younger group of kids coming in that can relate better to these kids. You know what I'm saying? But all those teachers got fired.
Thanks. Yeah.
And so, with that being said, it was all these other teachers are kind of put on notice. And then everybody's trying to just totally go over the top with doing their job.
Yeah,
and it just changed the environment.
I observed two schools down in South Jersey. One being Millville, which is
the fucking ghetto, dude.
Yeah, but it was Millville and Washington Township. But the way they did things in Millville was actually they care about the kids, they care about the curriculum. It's a fucked up school. There's security all over. Fucking their wand when I'm getting
shout out Mike Trout
when I'm walking in.
Yeah.
But comparing those schools to Tom's River, it's Tom's River really doesn't give a fuck about the kids.
No, it's all about money.
Well,
but I think
yeah.
I think the deeper you go into like inner city schools and like curriculum, like a lot of people only see like the security there and how bad the outside is around it. But like when it comes to it, a lot of those teachers that are hired to teach in those schools give a lot of fucks about those kids.
They spend their own money.
But they spend their own money.
This is what happens. This is the draw. Right, like, so you think about schools like in Newark, in Camden, in Trenton, in Atlantic City, Irvington. Yeah. I went to grad school with a teacher from Irvington. That was no fucking joke.
And a thing that started to cut you off, but a thing about Irvington is, if you look at Irving, I've always, for some odd reason, that some kid on Twitter used to follow me from Irvington, and he was the older brother of a wide receiver who played at Irvington, who now plays at North Carolina State. That head coach goes above and beyond. I would say 85 to 90% of those kids are D1 scholar athletes.
Probably, and you need that. And so, like, when you, to these schools, what draws teachers to the school is the salary, right?
Yeah.
Because you get paid a lot more money. But what keeps teachers there are teachers who really give a fuck. Yeah. Because after a while, money doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. In any job that you work in, not to like, put anybody's business out there, but like somebody's brother who I know, I mean, he makes like 6 figures. Like, he makes really good money, and he works in like a kind of like a business advertisement. This kid's so fucking burnt out. Yeah, young, hates his life. He left. And he's getting a new job remote, but he tried to stick it out so long for the money. I mean, because everybody that he worked with came from an Ivy League school, except for him and like one other person. And it was just like, you're working all hours of the night. You got clients all over the world, so you got to be accessible. It just never ended. And then, after a while, it's horrible. And then after a while, like, dude, $150,000, $160,000 doesn't fucking mean shit.
Nothing. Because you don't get to have any fun with that. You don't get to do anything with that. Like, obviously it pays the bills. Probably got a nice crib. Probably got a nice car. But like, you're not having any fun. Like, vacations are slim, and your time off is very slim because you're trying to be accessible to other people from around the world. So yeah, of course you're burnt out. And like, at that point, like, money is like...
Once you get some money, you get to do everything you got to do when you didn't have money, like spend a little money when you go out to dinner, go to bars, buy more drinks, get a nicer car. After a while, that doesn't really do anything for you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, people teach in those types of environments, like, they really have to give a shit. Mm-hmm. Even for me, like, I'm super empathetic, and I think that I could be good with those kids, but I had to take a step back and be like, I don't know. Like, when I was thinking about doing school counseling, I was like, these are kids that, like, I could, potentially really reach. Like, it's not really all about, where are you going to school? Like, like real shit. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could do it. That's like a huge emotional fucking commitment.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it as well, is like, you go in, like, for teachers especially, like, they go in with a mindset is like, obviously I want to do my job the best, and like, some teachers really excel at it, but like, the best teachers are the ones who like teach you more of like life lessons rather than like the curriculum around you. And like, that to me is more important than you telling me X, Y, and Z about whatever the fuck happened in 1800.
Right. So the life lesson thing and tying things into the curriculum, in your own way, like that can only happen in those types of schools. Because when you have a school like Tom's River, where it's just all about standardized testing, it's all about this, it's all about the numbers.
Yeah, because all they want is more money from the state.
Right. And so you have to show that you have like a high retention and graduation rate. Whereas these schools, it's like, dude, just get these kids to school for like the whole day. Like, that is like a win to them. So whatever you got to do,
show up.
You get that kind of, get that freedom. Otherwise, like, if that's the type of education that you want to do, you should look at college.
Yeah, because like even with like getting kids to show up, like in the Toms River district, like, if you miss a certain amount of days throughout the year, they say to you, you're not going to pass.
Bullshit. I remember you're not gonna pass. My sister missed, like, I don't know, my sister fucking hates school. Like, I don't blame her. Everyone hates school. But like, she missed a certain amount of days, and like
Did they send your mom truancy papers?
No, they fucking just showed up at the house. Like, the principal was like, why aren't you in school? And my sister's like, Well, this is the problem. During COVID and after COVID, it was pretty much optional to go to school. It's like, all right, just log on your Chromebook, like, we'll pull up the
that
stream.
first year back.
So it's like, these kids, the first year during COVID, kids were done at 11, didn't even need to go. The second year, it's like, okay, like, you guys should come to school, but if not, we'll send you a stream and you pay attention. Well, when I got a Zoom link, I logged on and went back to fucking bed.
Yeah.
Like, for college. Like, can't imagine these little kids, like, playing video games and shit. But it's like, how do you just expect kids to just flip a switch? Like, she's 11, 12 years old, like...
It's hard. And in my line of work, like, when you said something about, like, you know, because of COVID, like, lack of social cues and stuff like that, I have never seen more kids who are depressed and anxious in my entire life.
Yeah.
It is, like...
They have no social skills.
And it not only that, like, I think that there's, like, a lot of, like, so, you know, TikTok became... Mm-hmm.
It's disconnection, right?
Oh, yeah, and, like, also there's, like, all these trends, right? So they know how to socialize online, and they feel like a part of this community. Like, when people post these trends on, like, TikTok or whatever, like, that really influence them. Like, there is this new thing going on TikTok where it's like, oh, I'm getting my back-to-school necklace or something like that. It's literally about hanging yourself. And now all these kids are, like... following this trend, and they're like, oh, like, I'm gonna get my back to school necklace, blah blah blah, because like kids like don't want to fucking go to school, and so like that's what they're saying. And then, you know, like it's really it's different. I've never seen, like, you know, back in the day when things were steady and there wasn't all this bullshit happening, like kids could roll with the punches.
Yeah.
You have more time to adapt. It seems like every second something's happening, so it's like this sharp, like, uh-oh. And then so the kids who don't do well with transition, like kids with developmental disabilities, they're like totally fucked up. Like, they don't know what to do. Like, if you want this kid with like low functioning autism who's supposed to be getting speech therapy, you're going to give them speech on fucking Google Chromebooks and occupational therapy and all these other services that they're supposed to get within their educational plan. None of that's happening. They're just...
Well, the Chromebooks are also just killing, like, technology overall is just killing education, because these kids are just not, like, they're not fucking following the plan. Like, they're on YouTube or fucking playing games and shit, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, you put a computer in front of a kid, they're not gonna be like, oh, let me log on to school.
Yeah.
I have, like, a friend who has 2 kids, and, like, she worked at a school, the dad was a cop, and, like, so sometimes they had to be home alone, which, you know, like, kind of old enough, the one girl, whatever. Dude, they had, like, a whole classroom set up with fucking cameras. That was the only way that they could get their kids to do the work, and, like, they would have to check in on the cameras and be, like, you know, talking to the kids through the ring in the house during school time. Like, nobody has the financial means to do that with all, you know, all these kids in the district. Half these kids, you're giving them Chromebooks that don't even fucking work.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it also has something? Do you think it also has something to do with the fact that kids are getting phones sooner and sooner? Like, Huss, how old were you when you got your first phone? Like,
I don't even know. Like 6th grade, I had like a Sidekick, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't get a phone until middle school, and I had a track phone.
Yeah, the track phone. Yeah.
The Nokia track phone with Snake on it.
Like, kids are 10 years old getting fucking iPhones
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm like, of course you're gonna not want to do anything because your brain is overly stimulated elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Technology, like when you used to go into a lab and, like, you know, do that in, like, elementary school, and, like, when you're using a computer, yeah, like, you're using that computer to write a paper, to do this. Now you have one in your pocket.
Yeah.
So it's different.
And even then, like, it started early, like, with the computers, like, when we had, like, the computer class. I forget what it was called, but, like, it was just like a tech class, and we would go in, and it was a room full of computers, and we all get our assigned computer, and we'd sit down, and they'd be teaching us how to type on it, how to do this, how to do that. But then, like, there's, like, a 15-minute period inside that where the teacher's not really talking. He's like, all right, we'll do this assignment on the computer, and then we'll talk about it. I just fucking logged on to, like, video games.
Yeah.
And, like, just played...
Windows Pinball Arcade.
Yeah, like, just played a random video game. Like, I wasn't doing... And, like, that, it's so easy. And when something is so accessible, like, as a video game on the computer... again, like, you're not going to get a middle schooler and, you know, teenagers in high school to log on and do work. They don't want to do that. Like, there's no fun.
And they're like,
either that or restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, either that or just, like, work computers.
Like,
you have, like, a certain kind of...
Yeah. Like, we had... So, when I went to Bridgeton...
Back in the day, you couldn't even get on YouTube on the school.
Yeah.
Seriously. So
but now teachers use it to show videos, so they gotta allow it.
Yeah. But when I went to Bridgeton, we had study hall from 7:30 to 9:30. So 2-hour study hall, and we all had we were given iPads and shit, whatever. And so you go on your iPad for study hall, and that iPad was connected to the proctor's laptop. So he could see anybody, what they were doing on their iPads. And so it literally legitimately made us all do our work, all study what we had to study for those 2 hours so we can get in and get the fuck out. And like, he would check if you were on something else. But like, my biggest thing was being on ESPN.com. And so Proctor would come over and he'd tap me and be like, ESPN again, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, just study. Like, you got 2 hours in here. 2 hours and you go back to your room and go to bed. That's it. Like, you don't have to worry about anything else but being in here for 2 hours and studying. And so that was the whole thing. It really made you pay attention and focus to what you had to get done in those 2 hours. But they don't have that. They don't have that in public schools. They don't have that on the Chromebook.
Like when I was at Marist, we had a study hall every Sunday from like 12 to like 2:33, which sucked because like all the 1 o'clock games are on.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just bring your own personal whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, I would sit in the corner, I would throw on Reddit, and I would watch Red Zone the whole time. I got no work done. So.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just, that the whole thing with technology is I believe that technology can make, you know, education so much better. Like, it can make a curriculum so much better. Like, you can learn a lot because like half of our research isn't coming from these fucking old rock hard textbooks from 1980. It's coming off of whatever you research on your laptop or on your phone. But the way to use it, you know, no one's really showing these teachers how to do it. Nobody's really showing these teachers how to, you know, tell these kids, oh, like, you know, you could use this for that. Like, you don't have to use it for a video game all the time. Like, you know, if you could just focus on this for an hour. But I don't know. I guess there's a lot more science and shit that goes into the mind of a kid and getting them to realize that.
Wow. I didn't expect us to get this serious. So in other news, I'm like devastated about Pete and Kim.
Are you seriously?
Bro,
You just cut him off, dude.
He's such a fucking dirtbag. And I just thought it was going to be a win for all of us.
I don't even know what happened. I just saw that they split up.
I guess it was like, you know, the typical, like, oh, our busy schedules, you know. But they're, like, saying she's going to get back with Kanye.
Yeah,
oh, dude, she fucking better not. He's, like low-key, like, emotionally abusive. Like,
well, it's been too quiet for too long with Kanye and the whole thing, but, like...
Well, we were kind of talking about it yesterday, about the whole tattoo thing.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. He's got
the kids and her tatted on him. Pete. That's kind of like, that's like psychopath.
That's red flag all over the place.
Oh, well, dude, he's like mentally ill. He's like borderline personality disorder.
I mean, one, I'd never get someone else's, like, I wouldn't get my stepkids. They're not even his stepkids, but like, I wouldn't get, like, I'd only really get my own kids maybe tatted on me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, like, and then I look, as much as I think that Kardashian shit is dysfunctional as hell, I love watching the show.
Oh, dude.
I love watching the show, and like, whatchamacallit, like, the other episode, fucking, Scott Disick had to go and meet fucking Courtney and
Travis, yeah.
And it's so awkward.
Yeah, my nigga is so sad.
But you know what's sad is, like, it happened, Scott Disick's, like, glow up and like, maturity, it just came too late.
Well, you know what? I was having this conversation with Chelsea the other day, right? Like, so... Nobody really so when he had a drinking problem, right? He was like acting all crazy. Like, dude, both his parents died.
Yeah.
In a 6-month period.
Yeah.
Bro, like, he was depressed. And instead of getting him help, they basically ostracized him and made him like him and Lamar were like the reason that Rob got all fucked up.
Yeah.
And then basically that he's a huge troublemaker, and his outbursts and stuff, it's good for TV. So when you see him on the old show and he's like fucking acting like a lunatic, that's good TV.
Yeah.
You know, so why get him help? And, you know, they just made him look like a fucking asshole. And I feel like, damn, Courtney, like, half the time you wouldn't let him sleep in the same room. You know, and she was so fucking mean to him. But you had 3 kids with the dude?
Yeah.
Like, and then, I mean, good, if she's happy, like, that's good, you know what I mean? But, like, damn, did that relationship just drag on too long? And now he's, like, an integral part of your family, right? You guys share kids together. And now he's gotta fucking go over there. And her and Travis, they're, like, on top of each other. He's fucking grabbing her ass and making it. It's like, Courtney is, like, older than Kim.
Mm-hmm.
She's, like, in her 40s, dude. Like, calm down. Bro, look up Mason Disick. This kid is so fucking ugly. Dude,
he's like 11.
He's so ugly. He's fucking gay as hell. And he, apparently, like, recent pictures, like, apparently he's, like, super fat. Oh, yeah. Look at those eyebrows. It's rough. It's not looking so hot.
Well, that's what happens.
Oh, look at that one.
That's what happens when you try to, like, you know, Courtney manage a kid.
Do you feel like, and he's like he's not like really filmed on the new, and no, a lot of the other kids are, and they don't film him, and I think it's because he's fat.
Probably.
That's all I'm saying.
They used to, but that's
Hold on, what's that one next to the one you have selected? Yeah, what's that?
How old is this one?
He's got to be like 11, 12,
Probably older.
12, maybe 13.
I don't know, man. Unfortunate.
12.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a weird kid.
Well, that's the whole thing though. Like, he was the firstborn, and he was born, and then, you know, like, I feel like after he was born, Scott and Courtney were almost like at the end of their marriage, basically, and then everything just went downhill. And they were trying to do the co-parent thing, but Courtney's like, I used to like Courtney, bro, but like that bitch is manipulative, like, as fuck.
She's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't know, but that's that. I guess that's the territory it comes with, like, being a Kardashian kid. Even like North. Fucking
so weird,
dude.
But like that, there's the one picture she's sitting there with like that weird sign.
Yeah.
Next to Kim, I forgot.
Please don't take pictures or something like that.
I don't even know.
Or I hate the paparazzi. But she's just like Kanye.
Yeah, she is for sure.
But I feel like Kim and the whole Kardashian family, they don't respect that.
They want her to be a little bit more like
Kim. But,
and I think Kanye does show her like cool shit, like she makes drawings, like for Yeezy and stuff like that. But
stop.
Yeah, like what?
She don't like being filmed. She knows that, like, she's like, well, my dad hates this, I hate it too.
Yeah, it's just like a little weird, and I don't know, like that whole family. Like you said, as entertaining as it is, it's like a train wreck, but like I feel like some dark shit like goes on in that family.
Did you ever hear that story? All right, so it was I'm not sure if it was Nick Young or it was definitely a basketball player, but like we'll just say fucking Nick Young for namesake. And so he said that he was on the like Kardashian show, whatever, because he's like friends with Kanye or some shit like that. And he said, and he was like, so he got there, and Kanye like brought him into a separate room and was like, hey, like this is how it's gonna go down. This was gonna be told. This was gonna like happen, whatever. And so Kanye's talking to him, and he was like, whatever you do, like, you know, just don't speak really. And so they're sitting at a dinner table. And like it's the whole family. And they all have food in front of them and shit. It's like real weird. It's all quiet. And it's all fucking quiet. And he said that he sits down. Nobody says a word to each other. No one speaks to each other. All on their phones. And as soon as someone lets them know that they're rolling, they all start talking and shit. So they start having this like conversation or whatever for the cameras, and he's not really talking, and like no one's really saying a word. And right after the camera shut off, bro, they all just got up from the table with like this like food all over the table, like just full plates of food, and just got up and left, like just left the room, like nothing ever happened.
Tristan Thompson?
And no, it's not Tristan.
no.
No, Tristan Thompson.
Is a
I was
dog.
trying to tell you, I was like, it's not Tristan.
Is a
so
dog.
he was with Chloe. Oh my god, dude, they just had their second baby through
surrogate, yeah.
But he fucking played the shit out of her. Their entire relationship, he was cheating on her.
Their first baby, bro. Their first baby, or something. No, I was something about. I guess. Oh, he had a surprise party for Khloe Kardashian. And after the surprise party, he left and went to like Greece or Spain or some shit like that. And he was seen holding hands with another chick, bro. And she still like that. That shit is fucking crazy though. Like the fact that Khloe like just is like, we have to keep our relationship up for the family.
Well, no, I mean now it's like I think she really was made like to look like a fool, but like it just goes to show like. If there's one thing that will show how fucked up a family it is like people's how they have relationships with other people. Mm-hmm. Like you cannot lie. Like with Lamar, she got married in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Like Courtney, obviously the weirdo. Kim, let's think about it, right? Like so, Kim was with Reggie, and then she was with
Chris Humphries
for 72 days.
But before that, she was with somebody else.
The sex date.
No, so there was Reggie, there was Ray J, was Chris Humphries. She was married for 72 days.
Miles Austin,
yes. That's who it was.
Miles Austin,
Monmouth alum.
And you know what's crazy? It's the Kardashian. Miles Austin was having career years. He was having career years, and then got a little more fame and started dating Kardashian, bro, and plummeted.
Yeah.
You never heard from him again. But his like couple years on the Cowboys, like. He was their number one receiver. Yeah, he was good. And then he was with fucking a Kardashian
and then so no Miles Austin, and then there was somebody else she was like dating around, and then she met Kanye. Mm-hmm. So or no, that was Miles Austin, then Chris Humphries, then Kanye.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you have a new relationship every 5 fucking seconds. Like,
but
you have an issue with yourself.
You know what I think? You know what I think with Tristan Thompson and Khloe? I think that they're in an open relationship.
But they can't say that. So she looks like a dummy because she stays with him. Uh-huh. Which is so stupid because, like, that's, like, a thing now. Like, people do that. Mm-hmm. Like...
Damon...
This is her dating history.
Damon Thomas.
Okay. Oh, and she was married at one point.
Ray J. I hit it first.
Oh,
Nick Cannon. Holy
Nick
shit.
Cannon.
That's crazy. I'm surprised he didn't knock her up.
Right.
Reggie Bush.
Story continues, yeah.
Chris Humphries.
New Jersey net, great.
Dude, they were so fucking mean to his sister.
Yeah, they were, dude.
And then Kanye.
They don't even show the Miles Austin shit.
Van Jones!
Really?
Shut the fuck up.
That lasted maybe a month, probably. Why did they show that she was with... Miles Austin was literally, like, in shows. She brought him out to, like, a yacht party or some shit.
And then Pete Davidson. One of these does not look like the other. Yeah.
No, I think the funniest relationship, though, was Kim and Chris Humphries. Because that motherfucker did not care. And he was just like...
Dude, he used to fucking tease her and shit.
Yeah.
I used to get a rise out of
Yeah, and he's just like... when she dropped her diamond in the ocean, or whatever, her fucking diamond earring.
Or whatever.
My diamond earrings!
He's like, alright, well, I'll get it. He dove in. He's like, I can't find it. And he's like such a goofy, like, 7-footer. Like, deep voice, just goofy as all fuck.
Dude, they're fucking weird. There's some... Listen, Kris Jenner is going to drop dead one day and all kinds of crazy shit's going to come out. And that's the only way it's coming out.
I saw something on TikTok and it was like OJ's like Khloe's biological father.
So I believe that.
That keeps coming out.
No, listen, I believe that, right?
The more it comes out, I can't believe it though.
No, listen. Because Chris was best friends with Nicole Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, if before Khloe had all this plastic surgery, and you look at pictures of OJ's daughter, his oldest daughter, they look exactly alike.
And she's a big body. She's way bigger than. Taller.
Yeah.
She's taller, and she had different hair, and she's
alright.
And she what's it called? Oh, like she was like wearing my natural hair.
She's good.
She was like wearing my natural hair, and it was all curly. It's like, baby, that's mixed people hair.
Yeah.
Sit down. For those of you, my dog is causing a ruckus. Sit. Sit.
Want to read that?
Sit.
Someone?
For those of us who've been keeping up with Kardashians for the better part of the last decade, it seems like we know everything there is to know about the famous family. But even the most loyal fans still have one question left unanswered. Is O.J. Simpson Khloe Kardashian's father? The rumor goes back to when the family first entered the spotlight prior to keeping up with the Kardashians. Long before Kim Kardashian made herself a household name thanks to a sex tape, the Kardashians' biggest claim to fame was their father's close friendship with the disgraced football player. In 1994, Robert Kardashian Sr. even came out of retirement to join the legal Dream Team to defend the former Heisman winner while he was on trial for murder.
Just got started when Robert's ex-wife spoke out about Khloe's paternity.
In 2013, the Kardashian stepmom, Ellen Pearson, came forward and insisted Robert confess that Khloe was not his biological daughter shortly before his 2003 death, though she never identified who the Good American founder's real father is. Almost immediately after Kim and Khloe slammed their one-time stepmom for sharing ridiculous stories about their family in an effort to make a quick buck. At the time, Ellen exclusively told In Touch, "I'm simply stating the facts and the truth, their father's truth."
I think he knew, but I also feel like if she comes out and says that, like, I mean, that's the man who raised her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it is her dad.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, my biological father, your biological father, who gives a fuck?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, like, but my whole thing is, like, she's light. Like, she's
But there's a lot of white passing mixed people.
I guess so.
I mean, it's very common. And O.J. Simpson wasn't really that dark, and his kids are all very light skinned.
Yeah.
Where's the picture?
That picture?
There's a picture comparing O.J.'s daughter and Khloe. Yeah, I think her name is Sydney Simpson.
Sure.
No, all right, look at that. No, the one right, yep. Before she had plastic surgery, that's what she looked like.
She has like that round OJ face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on, like, that bitch's dad, bro.
She kind of looks like Fergie.
Fergie?
Chloe?
Oh my god, remember Fergie? Whatever happened to her?
Fergalicious, she fucking sang that horrible rendition of the national anthem.
Oh my.
Was that on the NBA final?
Yeah.
Dude,
They
and
were
Steph
cra-
They
Curry
were
was
cracking
like,
up. They were fucking laughing at her, dude.
dude, some guy fucking tanked that shit at the Phillies Nationals game last night.
Really?
Some like old white dude. And I felt like so nervous. I think I was like clenching my ass cheeks when he was about to finish the last note because I was like, oh my god.
He might get booed. He might get booed.
They didn't get booed, but it was
I'm surprised because Phillies fans or Phillies sports
Ruthless.
fans.
They're brutal. They're fucking brutal.
what are you gonna do, man? Best fans around.
What's the one video of the dude who is at a basketball game and he's singing the national anthem and like just forgot every word and like the fans start booing him. He's like, all right, wait, hold on, wait 1 minute, let me figure this out. And like he's trying to fucking
Figure it
remember
out.
the words and he's getting fucking flamed by these fans.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like a hockey game.
Maybe.
Christina Aguilera.
Oh God, no, definitely wasn't
What
her.
famous singer? Rachel Platt.
No, nobody's ringing a bell. So how you guys feel about football going into the preseason?
I'm just happy it's back. That Hall of Fame game just gave me life.
I didn't watch one lick of it.
Really?
Well, we were at softball.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I did after. Well, that was Thursday?
That was Thursday, yeah.
I don't even know.
Probably just went home and like beat your meat.
Probably.
But yeah, no, I watched the second half and I was just like, I don't care that these guys are never going to be on the field ever again. I just care that like to me the best part about preseason football is knowing that these guys are 7th rounders, undrafted guys who realize that they might be a practice squad guy, a special teams guy, or never fucking step foot on an NFL field again. So they just throw their bodies at each other. Like, try to murder each other. Like, commit legal crime on the fucking football field. And it's some of the best shit to watch.
I am, maybe regrettably, but I put down, I was going to do 100, and then I wound up doing 250. The Eagles are going to win the NFC.
All right, so
Not regrettably.
So I, obviously Giants fans, got a little bit of hope. This kid's just a Debbie Downer. Can't even talk to him about it. Oh, we're gonna suck. We're gonna suck.
Oh,
We'll
dude,
see.
he is so negative.
It's awful. I think we'll be better than what people expect. But I put 2 bets, and I put the Giants to win the NFC East, and then I hedged it with the Eagles because somehow the Cowboys were still favorites, which makes no sense. Because on paper, the Eagles have the best roster in the NFC East. So
I really feel like, dude, my brain is broken. The fucking quarterback of the Cowboys.
Dak.
I think Dak is their downfall.
That, and we literally talked about this the other day.
I
Who
really
the fuck
think
are their
like,
receivers? They got
They have
CD,
nobody.
Gallup's coming off an injury.
I don't know if you saw, but who's that one receiver? Wilson or somebody? One of their number 3s or something just went down, and they like refused. They refused to get anybody in free agency. Now, like, I know this isn't a sports podcast, and so for anybody listening, just like try to pay attention the best you can.
Yeah, we have a quarterback here, so it's a sports
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So, but like, if you think about it, like the way you build your team up is through a draft and through free agency, and then re-signing your best players. Yeah, you want depth, and so like the Cowboys, their owner doesn't really pay attention to any of that. If somebody goes down, they have like this next man up mentality, but you can only do that for so long until it just
when
doesn't
you're not
work.
bringing new people in. And then the problem is like
They just want to feed Zeke.
I feel like the way they
legitimately.
I feel like the way that they train, like these players don't have like they don't have like a synchronicity. Like they don't know how to play with each other.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, that's their culture.
There's
That's
no energy. They
Jerry
just feel
Jones-
like you should step on the field and do your job. But everybody does their job a little bit differently. And then when you have a different type of camaraderie, like on your team, you understand the way that you pass to a certain receiver is not the way that you pass to another receiver.
Yeah.
The way you pass to your tight end is not the way that you pass to your other receivers. Like the way that you pass to like maybe, you know, a running back that's also going to catch them. Like it's just different. Everybody has a different style of playing. I feel like there's just like a disconnect.
What also doesn't help is the fact that their head coach knows that he's going to get shit canned no matter how they do after the season. Like they're 100% going for Sean Payton.
100%.
But wait, so I'm going to ask you a question because obviously you've been a quarterback for fucking however long. If you have one receiver who you know is going to get like double teamed all fucking game, that kind of takes a certain personality to be like, I might not get the ball like 4, 5, 6 times a game. So how do you, as a quarterback, be like, listen, you're going to, fuck it, I'm not targeting you much.
Like last year at Rowan, we were really young at the receiving position. We only had one starter back, John, who is he's the first team all-conference guy. He's a dog. Like, he's just a gritty South Jersey dog. Like, once teams started picking up on him, like, they would try to double team him, but, like, you just find ways to get him open. And if not, then you just use him as a dummy, and we'll get other guys involved. So, I mean, it's not like, oh, this guy's going to be double teamed, I'm not going to look his way. You still kind of just got to feel out the defense and be like, okay, like, if you're going to run a post and they want to sit in cover 4, or they want to run cover 4 man or cover 2 man, like they're going to be manned on you and have someone over top you. That's fine. We'll run you out of there and we'll just have someone come right underneath and he's going to be screaming open.
That also takes like a type of football intelligence, and when you keep just bringing the next man up, the next man up, the next man up, well, the reason why they sit so low is they lack that football intelligence
and well,
to be able to understand
synchronize.
how that works.
Like, you got to think about the thing is, like, if he's out there and, you know, his number 1 goes down and then his number 2's down and his number 3's down, and now you're working with, like, second and third stringers who don't really practice with you as much. Now your history's not there. Now you're not really synchronizing. Like, he knows that on an out route, he knows the exact yardage that his receiver, his number 1, is going to cut to make that out. So he's throwing the ball before his receiver's head's even turned. And he knows that
he's going to be there.
Yeah, he knows that.
Because that receiver knows
the spot he's throwing that ball to, the receiver is going to be in that position to catch it. If he's doing that, like, you know, if he's doing that to his number 3, his number 3 might take a second or 2 slower to turn and make that cut to the outside to catch the ball. Thus, him, you know,
he's got to be in the pocket longer, and that's going to all fall apart if you don't have a good line.
Yeah, and so, like, my whole thing is, though, like, do you find yourself, like, if, like, last year you're in a situation with young receivers, whatever, you only had the one guy back, do you find yourself, like, trying to force a pass to your number 1?
I mean, sometimes, but, like, even if I was 90% of the time, he's coming down with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, even at, like, I mean, it's my 6th year of fucking college, like, so, like, my 4th, 5th year at Rowan, so I kind of have, like, a lot more say. So, like, if there's a young kid coming up, like, in our Skelly period, I'm like, dude, listen, I'll tell the coach, I'm like, I'm not only send the 1 and 2s out. I was like, I'm not fucking throwing to, like, a freshman right now unless he's gonna play, because it's like, realistically, like, you're gonna waste my rep and we're gonna waste him a rep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't know the shit, which I don't blame him. It takes a learning process. Like,
yeah, no one just hops into college ball and, like, knows anything.
And it's also different, like, at the level of schooling.
Yeah,
I think, like, when you're at a D1 school, there's a little bit more depth.
it's a bigger pool.
Right, you know, like, you have a bigger team, you have better facility, like, you just have more, like, at your disposal, whereas if you're at a smaller school, there's a lot less to work with.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, too, like, since I'm more like a runner and a scrambler, like, that opens a lot more up, too, because defenses can't really focus just on John. It's like, okay, we could focus on John, put 2 guys on him, but then there's 1 less guy on me. So it's like, we can either try to keep him in the box, keep him contained, and, like, let John do his thing, or we try to take away John, which is, like, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. But I don't know. I have good hopes this year. Rumors are, heavy rumors, that this may be the last year of Rowan football, though.
Get out.
Yeah, because with the next, like, 7 years, they want to kind of go to D1, and the rumor is they don't want to bring football with them, because then you got to put more money in, you got to give scholarships.
Because having a football, as much as money as a football program makes, you have to have.
Yeah. But this is the thing that makes no sense to me. Like, okay, if you want to go D1, that's fine. But realistically, even if you have a shitty D1 football program, they're still going to bring in a shit ton of money.
More money than a lot of
Kansas
other things.
football makes more money than Kansas basketball.
Yeah.
Please tell me the last time Kansas football was irrelevant.
From a financial perspective, I don't know how big Rowan Stadium is, but you have to build up the stadium.
It's pretty big.
So you also have, like, is Rowan a private or
it's
public?
So that's more money allocated towards.
But they just got a vet school. We just got a nursing school. There's like over 40.
Rowan is building.
There's over 40,000.
It used to be Rowan College.
Yeah.
Now it's Rowan University. They have a lot of research. They have a pre-med program that's actually pretty good.
One of the best in the country. Like, it's right there with, like, Rutgers pre-med.
It's really good. They have their facilities have definitely.
The president's just not a fan of football because he's all about academics, as he should be. But he looks at the football team as a GPA killer,
right?
Which is just like, I don't know.
So if you're like kids, like elite kids are gonna look like the average GPA for like admissions,
but
and
even
it makes
like
it less competitive.
There's kids on the football team that are on the football team because of the engineering program. So it's like there's still kids that are out there who are looking for these programs. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's a rumor. It's a heavy one. But I mean, realistically, it's my last year anyway. But it does shit on me because I want to go back there next year and coach. So that kind of fucks up my future plans a little bit.
But I mean, I don't think that it does. Like, I think that you have a lot of experience. I think that people are gonna know you, you know, just as a result. Like, never mind like your college career, as the accolades that you got like all through playing high school. I think that puts you in a really good position to be a coach, and you may start at like a smaller school, but I truthfully, you know, I don't think you would have to go back to Rowan. I think that you could probably coach anywhere.
The way that I'm thinking of it as, it's like, I know I could like go to like high school and coach, but it's like I wouldn't mind being at Rowan for like a year or two, and then transitioning over to high school, because I overall want to be a head coach in high school.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather be an assistant at Rowan for a couple years, just to like, I mean, I don't know how much more experience I could gain. Like, I know the game. Like, I don't know.
It's honestly, it comes down to.
It's all about who you know.
Who you know, and I say that as like, you know, even in my own case, like I'm still getting an offer to like come coach at Rutgers. That's like D1 school. I coach high school for like what 6-7 years, like, you know what I mean, like, but it's who you know, and that person's like, I know your coaching style, like I want to work with you, like come work here. I just don't have the time to do it, but like, you know, there's gonna be plenty of opportunity. If it's not who you know, it's who you know knows.
Yeah.
Like,
But then don't you, like, if you were to coach at Rowan, do you think you kind of have like that weird relationship? I used to play with these guys.
I think a little bit, but like most of the guys are young, because like we had that COVID year, so we had that gap year. So like that class, I don't really know as well as I should. They're gonna be juniors, because like we weren't doing shit. Like during COVID, like I was subbing, and like just getting fucked up, and just like it wasn't even really working out. It was just like it's a weird time for everyone. So like,
for sure.
I was depressed, and I'm like, dude, just trying to figure life out. So like, I don't really know the junior and sophomore class as well. I mean, last year, yeah, but it's like I'm so busy. It's just like it's weird. D3 is way different than D1, because like at Marist, like we all lifted together. Like we're on a schedule. It's like at Rowan, it's like our weight room's literally probably the size of this. Like there's fucking 4 racks. It's a shit show. Like as big as Rowan is, you'd think we would have a nicer weight room.
But when they don't like incentivize,
it's awful. So it's like our lift group's like 25, maybe 25 kids. So it's like I'm with those 25, and then I'm with the offense at practice. So like I don't know the defense really. I don't know. It's just a shit show, but I don't think it'll be that awkward, at all.
I want to go back to what you said. Like you're like the COVID year, and then like, you know, feeling like what the fuck's going on. Like, do you feel like, because I know there's a lot of emotional pressure that comes with playing a sport like football. Like, do you feel like one, is there enough support on campuses for that? And like 2, like, do you feel like that is something that people talk about enough? Like depression, the performance anxiety.
So I think now people are starting to realize because of COVID. Like during COVID, so we found out, they didn't tell us until like late July, early August that we weren't playing football. Like probably 2 weeks out from camp.
That's what people are like holding on to.
So
I'm
like,
make it through the summer to play football.
I'm working out all summer, like I'm building above ground pools, like just working out. I'm like, okay, like we're gonna play it. If not, like we'll do a conference only thing. 2 weeks out, we're like, all right, like we have a team meeting on Zoom. They break us the news, so I'm like, all right, fuck. Now what am I gonna do? Like classes are online. Like I'm not in a frat. Rowan's a big frat school. I'm like, am I just gonna go down there and try to like go into frats with like my friends? I was like, I'm a senior. I'm not gonna do that. And like I was so fucked up. Like I broke up with my girlfriend like pretty much for no reason, because I was just losing my mind. So like between that and no football, like I was just in a fucked up mental space. Yeah. So like it took me through the school. I tried getting like to see a psychologist or whatever it is, and like I was on a wait list for like 2 months.
Oh yeah, see the school clinical, like they have like
there's help out there,
but there's not enough.
But I'm on so like I pretty much just came home and that's when I started subbing, and I'm like, Mom, like I don't know what to do. Like I didn't want to do anything. Like I was drinking way too much. Like I wasn't eating, and like there's just not enough help out there, and I think schools are just picking up on it because like a couple months ago, like the soccer player from Stanford, she killed herself. Like,
Dude, you've had that girl from UPenn too before that.
Yeah, and like, why are we at the point where people have to like kill themselves for people to know that athletes like are like, there's a lot of fucked up shit that they go through. Like, even after college, like, once you're done playing sports, you're like, okay.
Then you have this identity crisis, like, now what?
Like, when we went out the other day, I was talking to, I'm not going to say her name, but I was talking to her for a while, and she was like, yeah, like, after I graduated, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm so used to the schedule, like, working out, playing, and it's like, you just, like, lose your mind. Like, you grow up, and you're like, okay, like, I'm Mike the football player. Okay. Now football's over. Now I'm just Mike.
I went through the same thing. After I left college, I went through 3 years of just like totally just so dissociated with, with other things. Like all I wanted to do was like strap up, play football again. But then it's just like the constant, oh, man, like I should have never left. Like I should have just stayed. Like stuck it out. Like I could be playing football right now. And like. Then I'm watching football and I'm like overanalyzing everything and I'm like, oh, I could still do this, I could still do this, I could still do this. And then it gets to a point where like finally it's just like you gotta tell yourself like
it's over.
It's done. Like you're not Mike the football player anymore. You're not Calvin the football player anymore. Like you're just you. So you gotta figure out what you want to do with your life.
But that's the problem though, because your identity becomes so rooted in and validated by that sport that who is me?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
and that's that period where you're depressed and you're just like totally lost and it's hard to figure it out by yourself and it's a shame. Like, I feel like colleges should offer like how they offer career services, like sort of like a transition like into like therapy. Like how are you gonna cope with this transition in your life, like adapting from being not only an athlete or a student athlete, like even just being in school your whole entire life and being told what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, when this is due, what you need. Like you are not taught to think for yourself. So why would you think for yourself of like who are you, what do you want, when your goals in life are set to meet the needs of school or sports or whatever? Like it's a huge change. Like you don't know what to do for yourself.
I think I realized that too during COVID because like I changed my major 5 million times. Like I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was business, education, went back to business. I was psychology, sociology, and I think during the COVID year I was like, all right, like sucks not having sports. Like I know I have to be involved in it somehow. So that's why I was helping out at North. I helped football, then I was helping out at basketball, and then I started subbing. I was like, all right, fuck it. Like let me just become a teacher and coach. Because if I don't have, like, if I'm not involved in sports, I think I'll just hate my life. And who knows, I'll fucking just become a fucking homeless somewhere. So I think knowing that what I want to do and what I'm going to do after kind of soothes me a little bit. Because, like, mentally, like, I know this is my last year playing, and, like, I'm kind of ready to start coaching. Because, I mean, we had a lot of coaches that just helped us throughout Pop Warner, and even
it's going to give you a sense of purpose to be able to help those kids not only reach their like athletic goals,
but just to be that one. Like a lot of people come up from broken homes. Like we all came from broken homes. Like fucked up lives. Like we all did. Like I was basically raising my brother and sister with my mom. Like I was skipping school, raising them. And it is what it is. Like I had to do what I had to do. But like when I was at Millville, like the teachers were like, listen, like. Yeah, education is important, but being that one steady person in like a young child's life is way more important than teaching them about the fucking Holocaust.
Right,
like,
and understanding like their struggle. I will never forget this one student I had. She was a senior to 2 kids.
Yeah, it's nuts.
How the fuck? And she wanted to go into the military. She was working towards that. How am I going to have the same expectations for you or for another kid who is going home and they don't know if they're fucking eating and you're like, you're not doing your homework? But it's like, what if they're putting their brother and sister to bed? What if they're putting food in their mouth? What if they have to work after school because their family doesn't have any money and they gotta help put food on the table? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it, especially in Tom's River, like that lacks all consideration because there's like this divide between, you know, kids who are driving around in like fucking, you know, Benzes, Lexuses, Maseratis, you know, whatever. And then you have the kids who are like, fucking, they got single parent home, they got, you know, the drug infested households, they got all kinds of shit. And even people with money got fucking problems. They just have more money to kind of throw at
it. Push it away, yeah. Like, I knew this kid, when I transferred to South, I knew this kid who, he was an immigrant from Mexico. His parents the one day basically told him, we're going to go back to Mexico because, like, we can't really make a life out for ourselves here, but we are going to leave you this house, but you have to work after school to pay for it and to keep the lights on and to feed yourself. And, you know, like, if you don't want to come back to Mexico with us, that's what you're going to have to do. So he said, fuck that, I don't want to go back to Mexico because it's very poor where he was living in Mexico. He just didn't want that life again. But this kid was a senior in high school, working 2 jobs after school, and, you know, keeping the lights on. But like, he was just, he was goal-oriented, and, you know, he had his head in the books, but like, there'd be some times where he'd have to miss school. Like, he was just fucking tired. He was tired and just wanted to sleep in because he was working 2 jobs. He had like a day off and shit, and was just like, well, fuck this shit, I'm not going to school. But, you know, he was doing that from a freshman in high school all the way up until he left high school, and teachers understood that. They understood his situation, so their expectations for him were way lower than it would be for the regular student. And so he was never questioned as to why he missed school. They knew why he missed school. He's tired as hell, he works 2 jobs, and he owns a house.
People need to have more compassion about that. And in your math class, you shouldn't be like, oh, you're not doing your algebra. It's like, bro, do you have a fucking budget?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how to balance a checkbook?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how to pay bills?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how credit works?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
That's what they need to fucking pull that kid to the side and tell him.
And it was like, it's very eye-opening, like, because like, you would never know that. Like, this kid was so fucking funny. Like, he would always like pick us up. Like, we'd be like, yo, like, come pick us up for school, whatever. Right away, pick us up. And then like the one day, it was like a weekend or something, and like we never, like, we didn't hang out with this kid much outside of school, but like, he had time off, he wanted to hang out, so he came to a friend's house on the weekend, and he just was venting about it. He told us, like, yeah, my family, I don't live with my family. He's like, the money I make goes into putting food in my mouth, keeping the lights on, and then sending some back to my family in Mexico. And that,
so he's fucking sending them money?
That was his life. And so he, from a freshman in high school, just had to learn how to be an adult. And there's a lot of people like that in this world who don't get the benefit of the doubt because people just don't know. And it's like, especially around here in Tom's River, like you said, like, there's such a big divide, but there's kids who are taking care of their younger family members, just trying to eat and just trying to, you know, make a living, but also have to hang around other kids in this school district who get to go home to big houses. Yeah. Big houses, and
especially like, since like we live in that weird side of Tom's River where it's like we live right by the high school, but 3/4 of the kids that we went to school with, not really so much now, lived on by Jackson and like, fucking, you know, all those huge houses and shit. So it's like, okay, like when I tell people I'm from Tom's River, they're like, oh, so you have
money?
You have money. I'm like, bitch, I live right next to Witteringham. The fuck you talking about?
Like, I don't have, you know, and that's the assumption of all, you know, people from Tom's River. But also, like, especially in sports, that gave me the biggest complex. Like, especially because, like, I played field hockey.
Yeah.
And then all those kids, I didn't realize, like, I just was like, I need to do something, you know what I mean? And like, this girl Adrian who lived in Witteringham was like, oh, play field hockey, because she was the best field hockey player. Her mom was a coach at some fucking St. Rose, you know what I mean? But like, she went to North, and I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna play field hockey. I didn't realize that I was joining a sport with a bunch of rich white chicks.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild. Basketball was a little better, but like, oh my god, dude. Like, you go to their houses for pasta parties and shit like that, and it's like the fucking 3-car garage. They have their kitchen would be like the size of this whole downstairs, and I'm like, oh my god, like, people live like this. And you start to, you know, you walk into school and you're like, you know, it's hard at that age not to be like, oh my God, they have this and I don't have this. Like, it's tough. And even in sports, because people have, better cleats or better shit, and you're using the same shit from last season.
I think
you used to buy your own shit.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to put that stress on my mom. Like, fucking had a bunch of shit going on. So I'll just buy my own shit. This kid was picking me up in Seaside. And he was 14. He was like, yo, like, can you come pick me up from Water Park?
Just got off,
But I think, like, I never really had that problem because I feel like football and basketball, it's like, who you're playing with. It's just like, there's a couple kids maybe for basketball, but football, like, it was mostly just like everyone we grew up with around here.
Yeah.
Really
not a lot of people, like, on our football team had a bunch of money.
Hockey.
It's not like
cross.
Like, the craziest thing is, like when Barnes went to be the head coach at Colts Neck, he was like, it was a culture shock to him.
Yeah.
He's playing with he's coaching these kids who are doing football as a after school activity. It's not for
a resume booster.
Yeah, they don't fucking care about winning a state championship. It's not going to make them feel any different because at the end of the day, their parents are doctors, surgeons and all this bullshit. And he was just like,
nepotism is going to save them.
He's like, I can't even give these kids a rah-rah speech because, like, none of these kids are getting it out the mud. They're going, after this football practice, they're fucking going to drive their $100,000 Ferrari back to their fucking, four-door garage house, gated community, and do whatever with their time. But, like, here and, like, Lakewood schools, like, these kids are playing to either get off the streets, or get a fucking scholarship so you can play D1 football. Like, that's what it is. That's the difference. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, that sports for some are a way to get away from all that bullshit they got going on at home or on the streets. And sports for other people are just, I felt like playing. I just wanted to do it.
Now that you said that, I feel like I butted heads with a lot of, like, people in, like, my grade in high school because, like, they just don't get it. It's like, oh, it's football. It's just a game. It's like, it's not a game. It's been my life.
But you were always a little bit more mature in that aspect, and you always had older friends.
Yeah, like, well, like, when you transferred and when your grade graduated, like, I had the couple buddies I still hang out with, but, like, I hung out with people who I played sports with, because it's like, you get it, like, you got what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it's like, even my family, like, football is more than just a game. It's like, we can just get away from life.
The stress of life. Sit down and watch a game. Get away from the stress of life. Go see basketball.
Well, I love football. I love to play it. But, like, I played it to, like, get the fuck out of Tom's River. Like, like, I wanted to go play school and all, but it was just a way for me to get away from, like, real life. Like,
there was, like...
I didn't have to worry about town and
media. Track.
Yeah.
Like, Vanessa was my coach for the longest time, and even after college, we had plenty of conversations. I couldn't stop cold turkey. I did like 2-3 meets and then practiced for like fucking 4 months.
And like that's
like throwaway meet. And then even a few weeks ago, it's just a shit day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. I want to go fucking throw.
That's the whole. There's nothing better than being distracted by a sport. Like, to me, like, if you're having a fucked up day or a week or a month or whatever it is, and you're just picking up a fucking 12-ounce fucking ball, and you're whipping 16? That thing, you're throwing it as far as you possibly can, and getting all your anger out and all that madness through the week or the month, like, it's coming out.
And brings you back to this place.
Yeah. And then there's like, people are like, oh, you guys are fucking, like, the guy, we were playing golf yesterday, and we were telling this guy that, like, well, I was like, I retired from football, he's still playing, he's like, you guys are tough as hell, and I'm like, you don't understand, dude, there is nothing better, like, than putting your fucking shoulder or your helmet into somebody's chest and putting them out. It's like, well, like, you breathe, like, you don't even feel the pain, like, you don't feel it to the next morning, and it's just like all that adrenaline, and like, it just makes you forget.
That's how I am in the gym now.
Yeah.
Like, an unnamed someone, just like, he's like a bodybuilder and like fucking spends an hour in the gym. I'm like, no, I go because
if I don't, I got demons, bro.
Yeah. I love putting 400 pounds on my fucking back.
Yeah.
And just doing shit that no one can do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I don't go to the gym to look good. I go to the gym to throw shit around.
Yeah.
Just leave me the fuck alone.
It's just the steam. You just blow off that steam, and that's the thing. Like, I didn't realize
You
it.
missed that outlet.
Yeah, I did.
Sports.
I didn't realize it until college when like you're the small fish in a big pond again. Like, I didn't realize until college where when I was hitting people, now you're facing up against people from different states, different parts, of the country.
Your fucking belt rung.
Yeah, and like I'm like now I'm getting fucked up, and I'm like,
and these grown ass men now, like you're playing.
Yeah, and now I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, the reason they're playing is the same reason I'm playing.
Yeah.
So I gotta 10x this shit. I gotta go 10 times harder. I gotta do this. I gotta do that, and it makes you forget even more. It makes you forget about all that stress. Like when you finally figure it out. Like I finally figured it out freshman year of college. Like, okay, I'm gonna level up a notch. I'm gonna fucking go hard. I'm gonna go crazier than you're going because this shit means a little bit more to me. This shit makes me forget a little bit more than you forget about what's going on in your home life. And that's just how it is. Like, I mean,
especially for football, it is just like who wants it more.
Yeah.
It's like I know my coaches get pissed off like when I'm trying to when I just lower my shoulder. It's like, dude, I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like I love getting hit.
Yeah.
Like
it's not gonna like the amount of times that like I've heard coaches tell him like, don't lower your shoulder. Get out of bounds. Do this. Like, he's gonna put it into somebody's chest and knock him over. Not because he's reckless and doesn't care. It's because he's not gonna fucking hurt him. The kid don't get hurt, and if he's doing that and giving his team a chance to fucking win or get that first down or something, and it's also getting steam off his chest, he's gonna do it. But like back to kids just playing organized sports because they want to do it,
or their parents are making.
Or their parents are making
them.
That's
also big.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
but
especially in track.
Yeah,
you get like a bunch of fucking wieners.
Like who just they're running for fun.
Like shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like just people who would show up for fucking social hour.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
here.
I used to when I went to Brick, I had a little bit more freedom there. I split the practices, right? Like, so people who I knew were gonna place, or I'm bringing to big meets, whatever. We're having 3-hour practices with those people certain times a week, and then or we would flip them, like weight room here, you're out here, because I can't stop working on this person's like elite discus spin to teach you how to hold a shot put.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a totally different mindset, and then I don't have the patience, and I'm not giving them the proper time. Like, so it's really hard, and then you have kids who are just like, yeah, well, I figured I would just try this out, and it's like, all right, so I'm going to give you an hour of my time, you're going to come out here, you're going to throw shit, and you're going to go to fuck home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I only ran track that 1 year, but it's like I went there just like try to get better for football.
Yeah.
Which is like I feel like a lot of just runners do.
Which I can appreciate, though, because they're athletes.
Yeah.
But then you have throwers who are just like...
Yeah, just like fat, sloppy people.
Yeah. Like I remember trying to throw the javelin one time. I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna waste your time trying to teach me.
Yeah.
Two, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be a fucking thrower in college or anything. So
Right,
what's
yeah.
the purpose
Yeah.
of it?
And
Like,
I would really hate for something to happen to your fucking arm. I'd probably get a lot of flack for that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's such a crazy divide, and it's like you think about Texas sports, and
Yeah.
it's the most insane to the outside world. To the outside world, it looks insane that Texas high schools are spending millions of dollars on their football stadiums, but they're also getting these kids ready to go to the next level.
I wonder the percent of kids, like the big Texas schools, get full rides. I'd have to say probably almost like 50% of maybe senior classes.
50, yeah, for sure.
Same.
Because they're in facilities that they're going to go to in college. Yeah.
There's schools in Texas that are nicer than both the colleges I went to.
Oh,
by
yeah.
a landslide.
Oh, by a landslide, dude. Even Mary Hardin Baylor, Texas D3 school.
It's crazy.
Their D3 school has a D1 stadium, and their D3 football program has players who could play D1, but they were that odd man out. So they go to Mary Hardin Baylor because they know at the end of the day they probably still have a good chance to play overseas, to play in Canada, or to even make an NFL roster.
The big D1 transfers from all the big Texas schools, like Texas A&M.
It's but like the cultural differences in all sports, like also it has to do with what state you're in. Like Jersey really cares about its sports, but to a certain degree.
Do they? They got rid of the TOC, which I have a really big problem with.
Tournament of Champions?
For every sport. This was the last year. I have a huge problem with it because their reasoning was, some schools aren't playing as many games or it's not fair. Well, that's just the society we live in now. It's like everyone needs to get a ribbon.
It's got to be fair.
It's got to be fair. No, fuck you. The best teams, they keep going. Like, that's how it is.
Because they work harder.
Yeah. Like, it's not my fault your school fucking went 2-14 in basketball. Like,
Right.
It's just ridiculous that.
Yeah.
And, like, not only is it affecting these kids in high school now, it's going to affect their kids when they grow up. It's like, I was raised...
The mentality is going to be so different. Like,
it's just so
dude,
soft.
You should just fucking grind.
Yeah.
People don't want to do that anymore. They don't have the mindset.
And it all full circle back to, like, the home lives, like, and being in school and shit. Like, no kid wants to even go to school anymore.
Like, we went out to dinner. I forgot, it was a couple months ago. It might have been for Mother's Day or not. And, like, it was just a very high tensed dinner table. Because, like, my mom and my brother were talking about football. Because my brother's like, I don't know if I want to play football in college. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if I want to play anymore. And, like, you guys know my mom. Like, she's fucking...
Yeah, she's
out
having
there.
that.
Yeah. So she, like... was trying not to, like, I had to, like, I was the middle guy, so, like, she was saying one thing, and I was like, all right, she really means this, but, like, I have nothing against people who is Greek life, whatever, like, I have a lot of friends in Greek life, just not my style, I'm more athletics, and my mom's like, well, what, are you just going to go to school and join a frat, like, you're not doing that, like, you're not
if he doesn't go to school?
Yeah.
What if he wants to be a fucking plumber?
Yeah, and I said that, I was like, Mom, listen, like, he doesn't have to go to college, like, I think he might be better off in a trade school. But if he wants to go play college football, then go play college football. But Mom was like, no, like, he's got to play football. And I think that's just...
But think about, as much as that you escaped from your life playing a sport, your mom escaped from stress
by watching us play
to
sports.
watch you play a sport,
Yeah.
to go there and to feel like, all right, maybe this isn't me, or, whatever, but... look at what my kids can do.
Yeah.
And she might be losing a sense of purpose, not being able to have.
Because she also she saw all my uncles play football. Like, she went to Keensburg in the '90s when they were a dynasty.
Keensburg.
Like, they were fucking good in the '90s. Like, talk about grit fucking dogs. Like, you can't. I don't know if you could find another place finds like Lakewood and stuff in the '90s. But I think just like it's the pressure on her too to feel like, okay, like. My kids need to, like, he needs to play football or just something.
He needs to go to school because he needs to be better than me.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's just, I think...
Isn't that kind of getting back to your point from earlier, like, parents who force their kids?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying your mom forces
Yeah, but I think it's just overall that, like, society nowadays are just kind of, fucking with her mind now. Because it's like, she's big on... She hates, like, everyone getting ribbons, and, like, everyone doesn't deserve a ribbon. Like, if you win, like, okay, you win. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. But
and if you lose, you gotta learn how to lose.
Yeah, learn with it. So I think that's kind of affecting her too. I don't know. She's just losing her mind a little bit. But I don't even know.
Shout out to Tina. All right. Well, I think that was a good episode. 65. And
we'll catch you on the next one.
I appreciate you, Huss.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I didn't know what kind of conversation we were gonna have.
Yeah, it got pretty deep. I thought we were talking about some other shit. But
whatever Jay's not even doing, it's fine.
Unfortunately, we're not going to answer questions. They were all ridiculous. Actually, nope. We did get a question about what your favorite porn site was. I'm just going to cut to the chase real quick and just say, yeah, I looked at Feet Finder.
Feet Finder?
No. Not because I wanted to look at feet, because I was thinking about making some fucking money. And, I'm still undecided, so I'll let you guys know in the next episode.
All right, episode 65. We'll catch you on the next one.